Well, responding to listening to this recording, Jewel, previous one to this, I'll do this as a note. First of all, a minor point. I should be stricter in my use of esoteric. I think it originally meant sort of hidden knowledge, but also of a spiritual nature. But spiritual could have been, the word spiritual could be good, could be bad. And it depends from what perspective, whose. So if I say that there's two kingdoms, there's heaven and there's earth, they are two distinct kingdoms with different rules of acceptability in each. They're not consistent. You can't run heaven as an autocrat. It's not pyramidal. And religion might be, of course, very much so. But it's an earthly structure, and it's structured because it's to support autocratic rule, imposition, that there be any civilization at all amongst the chaos. So the rules of autocratic rule are, if you like, the teaching, the principles of this world. Just like if you walk into the fire, you get burnt. I mean, it's just a principle of here. It's a sort of fact. It's damaging and it's not creative here. So you conform to such a law, you avoid walking into the fire, or you don't last very long as a member of the earth. You go back to the earth, disintegrate. The reality of heaven is not that it's held together by force, but by love, and there are different rules that govern the kingdom of love. I don't think Caesar was pretending that he was a kingdom of love. He was an emperor. And when a head of state is going to war, he's not focused on love. He's focused on the use of force, either to protect his nation and or to conquer another. He requires certain conformity in the effort. And your officer is commanded to shoot you if you disobey on the battlefield. Well, that's putting it in the extreme, but it certainly used to be the case that the officer's pistol was for his own men, not for the enemy. The men fight the enemy. I direct the men. If they successfully overrule my rule, then, well, there's anarchy and our enemy will probably walk all over us. In short, force is necessary in this world, and compliance is necessary if you wish to remain a favoured member of it. Otherwise, your fabric of life, physical life here, may be disintegrated by degrees. Subjection, impoverishment, and the consequences of such. It's a means of giving you the motivation to comply. Now, you can't learn from this world if you don't live in it, and you've been sent here, which means you're here to obey by the rules. And it is the case that sometimes obeying by those rules means that you're cannon fodder and, well, you exit the school quite quickly. In that sense, it's a ruthless school. And you may have opportunity to flee from such oppression to a rather better class or better school. But we take it you're meant to be here, therefore you comply and learn the reality of both good and evil, which furnishes you with access to life eternal in heaven. So, evil is not good in itself, but it can be used for good in that sort of backhanded way of impressing on you different values appropriate to life eternal. Being here is a blessing. We make it as kind as we can. We certainly don't want you to suffer unnecessarily, but you do suffer from not having the truth. So we offer the truth. But of course you're a child, you may not be convinced, and you may try your own way for a while. Just as you can see doing that as regards survival in the state. You can rebel against the police if you wish, but life in and out of prison and possible execution is not as good as life could be if you were rather more compliant. But to embody the compliance of the state is not in itself to give you eternal life. You must at the same time recognize that what you are compelled to do here can be evil, and it's not your choice. It's an imposition, and you accept it's an imposition and follow it accordingly, but it is still an imposition, not something that you have a true allegiance to. Your true allegiance is to heaven, that which you understand to be good, heaven from your perspective, and having experienced the tyranny and the consequences of such here, you are much the clearer on what your true values are. And of course you will take here any opportunities that allow you freedom in that regard, but we are not foolish. To remain here, there is a necessary compliance, and we follow such. Hence Paul can say, obey the authorities put over you. He's not saying that the authorities are godly. If you think the authorities are godly, then, well, you'll be perfectly happy with their authority until you find it to be otherwise. Oh, a minor point. I don't think I should have said my servants. I should have said my followers or my people, my citizens, do not fight, because they are not of this world. In other words, you get the compliance you want. That doesn't mean I think you're noble, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that my followers do not fight, because our eyes are not set on this kingdom, but another, the kingdom of heaven. And you may not find that too dedicated and therefore not privilege my followers very much. I understand that. You may use us as and where you think it's convenient for you. Not resisting that. I'll take alternatives, of course, if they're there, and if they're not, well, you get what you demand. But I'm not leading some revolution. I'm not here to overthrow you or change the system. I change it where you allow me to, but not where you don't. Something like that. Do you see? I mean, he says to his disciples, yes, you can go to Jerusalem, but my time is not yet. In other words, he's going to go up in secret, not too obviously. He does actually wish to get to Jerusalem. And when, of course, he gets to Jerusalem, he's not going to overthrow the monarch. He's not going to overthrow Caesar or Pilate or something. The Romans. That's not his purpose. He knows his purpose, of course. And they don't seem to know it at that point. Disciples. In the story. The story won't necessarily add up. It won't be a perfect story. Nothing's perfect in this world. That's the first reason. And the second reason is it's got another objective written over it, which is that of the state, to gain compliance. And it's because of that purpose that the religion is protected by the state, because it's useful to the state. Hence Marx can say it's the opiate of the people. Of course, Karl Marx tried to put a philosophy in its place, a philosophy of fellowship, brotherlyhood. He's on the right track. What's the wrong track is to suppose that you can bring it about in this world. You can't. This is meant to be a classroom, not a heaven. If it were a heaven, then we need another classroom to train us. And God made this one, if you like, very well. He looked on it and it was all good. Really? He's not looking with my glasses. No, that's right, he's not. It is good, as regards his overall heavenly purpose, which is to bring about our maturity, our ability to be in harmony, and to ever live fully in the kingdom of heaven. Thank you, Dad.